Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, and Captain Planet and the Planeteers, issue number one. I'm going to forewarn you, I have never actually watched the cartoon back when I was a kid. I think that's really important to know. In fact, I had a friend named Dwight who used to watch it. And one day we're walking towards a child world in New Jersey, and we're going to stop off and like look at toys for some reason. I didn't know what we were doing. It was a couple of us, you know? And then I'm like, dude, why are we in a freaking toy store? And then and we didn't get into the aisles, it's just in the front. And he's just like, nah, I'm like looking to see if there's any Captain Planet toys. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, yeah, there's a cartoon, Captain Planet. And I'm like, yeah, I think I seen the commercial. What are you doing? Are you actually watching the cartoon? What are you doing? He didn't know I used to play um, Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. He didn't know I was into comic books. Like I had those friends, but Dwight and these guys were not those friends. I had to maintain appearances. Anyway, I properly embarrassed him, called him a child and stuff like that, and then we moved on with our lives. And I never actually watched Captain Planet and the Planeteers. I don't know if the cartoon is or is not like this comic book is presenting it, whatever. In fact, the only actual interaction I ever had with Captain Planet was as Don Cheadle. I saw that video a couple years ago. Very funny. Turning mother effers into trees and whatnot. Hysterical. But yeah, so David Papose, I'm hoping that's how you pronounce his name, is my first experience with Captain Planet. If he done me wrong, you let me know. I'll have a proper conversation with him. Be like, yo, better represent, fool. Which is more Don Cheadle. I'm just saying. Anyway, so the writer is, in fact, David Papose. Sorry for the spoiler. Artist, Iman Caselos. And colors are done by Jorge Sutil. Letters by Jeff Eckelberry. And the main cover art is by Mark Spears. This is actually a Dynamite Comics release, even though it's saying that Captain Planet and the Planeteers is actually owned by Warner Brothers. By the way, Warner Brothers owns DC Comics. So I'm imagining DC, Warner Brothers, whatever, just licenses out to Dynamite as opposed to going through as a regular old comic book from, you know, DC. So anyway, they would have probably changed it after 5 years and gone back to issue number one and called it Rebirth or New 52 or whatever, the New Five. Anyway, this comic book starts off pretty damn good, I gotta admit. So there's this chick, Gaia, and it's interesting that her name is Gaia because, you know, Gaia is Mother Earth, essentially, according to the Greek mythology. So Gaia's running around and she's got an infinity gauntlet full of rings. Well, 5 rings, not 6, gems. And she's being attacked by 3 helicopters. And of course, I guess they're eco-terrorists. I don't know what's going on, but these are very angry people who want her and especially her rings. And they're chasing after her, and she just goes, okay, yeah, and like energy goes up in the air, and then Captain Planet comes down and says, I haven't lost a fight since what do you say, the Jurassic period, the Cretaceous period, something like that. He probably gets his butt handed to him with I don't know, a minigun. There's actually like a Gatling gun style minigun blasting him with depleted uranium rounds, and I'm like, that was overkill. Do we just randomly carry these kind of things here? Like you're driving around, are you expecting a fully armored tank that you have to start trying to take out, and you don't have rockets to do that? Very interesting. Anyhow, so takes Captain Planet out in a heartbeat. She makes him disappear again. I guess goes back up into the sky to fill the hole in the ozone layer. You remember that? I do. And what do you call it? Anyway, and then they're still coming. So she shoots the rings out. She scatters them. And like, this is a very basic comic book origin start, whatever, for a brand new series, right? Something didn't work, so now we got to do something else. Now, Captain Planet, I don't know if he's going to figure out how to properly handle these guys later, or if these 5 new people who individually get the rings, right, like they're forming Voltron all of a sudden. I'm sorry, Power Rangers, my bad. Got to keep with things more. Is there a new version of Power Rangers out someplace? Anyway, I still remember when it was Voltron forming all five lions coming together and stuff like that. Anyway, um, I will say this: huge fan of the idea that instead of one person carrying all the rings, now it's five individuals doing it. Hopefully, so each one is different. There's the earth ring, the fire ring, the wind ring, the water ring, and they all do exactly what you would expect them to do for the most part. But there's also the heart ring, and I'm like, is this like charm person spell? I told you I played D&D, but it's actually like controlling animals and stuff like that. Maybe it's controlling other things too. Maybe this is the ring that turns or turns people into trees. I don't know, but I'm liking that each one of the rings does something different. Very basic, but not droll. Interesting, right? And now that they're in five separate hands, maybe that's where the real power comes from, because each of these guys had their own approach to handling some kind of problem. Each of them had different levels of heroism, different ways of, I don't know, like the one who uses heart had like all these animals threatening to eat this person. He's like, I'm sorry, please don't let the animals eat me. Like there was a giant constrictor on there. There's a big like wildcat. I'm like, damn, this could get hairy fast, And they're all going to have different creative approaches to handling the things that they need to handle. But they've all got the rings now. And it's actually cool also because it's not just going around America or around New York City like you'd expect. It's actually from all over the world. So I'm wondering how David Papose, maybe it's Papose, anyway, I'm wondering how he's actually going to handle this particular situation, how they're all going to come together. Are they going to go all the way around the world and whatnot? Because this is, for me, this is new. I don't know how they did it in the cartoon, but there's a chance now to speak to people like me while also still speaking to the people who are going to, because the real people are going to be picking up this book for the most part are going to be the original fans. I am not one of those people, but can he keep me reading this now knowing that there are going to be some people who are not original fans that he could very well make a brand new fan? So far, I'm on board. I'm digging where this is going. I'm looking forward to seeing how these, because of course I'd imagine if it's the Marvel way, they're going to be fighting each other at first, right? Maybe Earth and Fire are going to be going at it with each other. It's going to be like something out of Aang, the last Airbender, right? Avatar. But however they're going to do it, I'm interested in seeing how it's going to happen. Like, this is how you build up the excitement. You let it out there and just leave it. And we have to figure it out. We have to just be along for the ride. But I'm hoping it goes into the violence sector because it's a comic book. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see people whooping each other's butts, right? That's what I want to see. Anyway, so far so good. I'm wondering, the main person at the end of this, some of you guys might know. This is the only, like, after the fire thing, I'm looking at this digital. They sent me a digital copy. So I don't want to really do too many spoilers, but I do want to point out that the main bad guy in this issue and the upcoming issues, at least this arc, should be Courtney, or courtesy of Lucian Plunder. Okay, so the dude's name is Lucian Plunder. If that means something to you guys, awesome. If not, hopefully it does soon. But so far, like I said, I like where this is going. We just introduced these characters, and maybe they're different enough. And actually, it's a good point to touch on. If these characters are different, like same names or whatever, but different than the way they would act back in the comic book or in the cartoon, good. Seriously, good. Because this is how you keep, the old fans, but keep this fresh, keep this new. Because honestly, I'd even be disappointed if this was just a refresh of the old cartoon. I could go back on YouTube, I'm sure, and find the old cartoon. Nah, not interested. But keep this fresh. keep me guessing a little bit, keep the original fans guessing, but still have just enough of that familiarity, yeah, this comic book could go far. I don't see why not. I mean, the whole idea of five individuals, each with their own level of power, and then they can summon Voltron and call him Don Cheadle. There's that option. Oh, David, if there's a way to have Captain Planet at some point threaten to turn somebody into a tree, that's all I'm saying. You'd have fans for life. I've said what I said. Okay, I'm out of here. So far, enjoying the comic book. Looking forward to more. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Like the video, watch an ad. Class dismissed.